Lesson 3.2, Leadership versus Management. Now in this particular section, to be honest, most of this stuff is straight from the PMBOK guide because it's been written by experts in leadership and it's been written in such a way it is really simple to understand and it's comprehensive. And so to be honest, I can't really add a lot to it. So as I said, most of this is from the PMBOK guide. And we're starting off with leadership skills. These involve the ability to guide, motivate and direct a team. And these skills would include demonstrating essential capabilities such as negotiation, resilience, communication, problem solving, critical thinking and interpersonal skills. Projects are becoming increasingly more complicated with more and more businesses executing their strategy through projects. Project management is more than just working with numbers and templates and charts and graphs and computer systems. A common denominator in all projects is the people. People can be counted, but they're not numbers, as the PMBOK guide says. Number one, dealing with people. A large part of the project manager's role involves dealing with people. The project manager should study people's behaviours and motivations. The project manager should strive to be a good leader because leadership is crucial to the success of projects and organisations. A project manager applies leadership skills and qualities when working with all project stakeholders, including the project team, the steering team and the project sponsor. Number two, qualities and skills of a leader. Research shows that the qualities and skills of a leader include being a visionary, e.g. help to describe the products, goals and objectives of the project, able to dream and translate those dreams for others. Because that's how you enthuse people, get them excited, is once they can see what you can see, then they're more likely to help you out. Being optimistic and positive. And that doesn't mean sort of ignoring realities, but the thing is, even when things go bad, you know that you have to be able to get through it. And if you can see the end and think, I have the experience to get through this, and you can impart that positive attitude to others, because everyone has had problems, everyone has had difficulties, but eventually they overcame those. If you can get people to remember that they are really overcomers at heart, then you can make them more positive as well. Being collaborative, managing relationships and conflict, that's important too, because if you've got people in your team, something that may seem pretty small to them can make a huge difference. And communicating, and in fact research shows that top project managers spend around 90% of their time on a project in communicating. I know it seems impossible, it is true, because it doesn't just mean talking or on the telephone, it's any form of communication which includes emails, charts, reports, presentations, phone calls, meetings, body language, anything that communicates anything. 90%, please remember that for the exam, it's quite a common question that comes up because it seems so unlikely most people don't pick that one. Matter of fact, whenever I was starting a new project manager position, I asked the program director what he expected to see of me do as a new project manager, and he pointed to my chair and he said, "Do you see your chair over there?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "I never want to see you sitting in it." So lots of communication. Being respectful, helping others retain their autonomy, being courteous, friendly, kind, honest, trustworthy, loyal and ethical. It's a bit like they say, you treat others the way you want to be treated. Everybody likes to be respected. No one likes to be lied to. Everyone enjoys a kind word. If you do a good job, it's great for someone to come along and say, "Yes, you did a good job." It makes it feel really good. Exhibiting integrity and being culturally sensitive, courteous, a problem solver and decisive. Giving credit to others where due. Just a pat on the back. You, as a project manager, it's your job to motivate the team. And you've got to work out ways to pick up the spirits and to reward them as well. Now usually you don't have buckets of cash that you can hand out to reward people, but as I said, a pat on the back, maybe a staff lunch where you say this particular person did this wonderful thing, or you might allocate them the corner desk or use of your car park for a couple of days, whatever it is within your power, so that you can reward the team and they will feel that they're really part of the team and valued. Being a lifelong learner who is results and action oriented, lifetime learning is critical, well, especially for me because I'm in software development, information technology, and things change at an incredible rate, but also in project management, because PMBOK has gone from 5th to 6th edition, lots of changes there. You can see it, there's a lot more in agile and iterative methods coming through these days. There's the methodologies such as Prince2, and even if you know Prince2, Prince2 has just changed as well. It's now Prince2 2017. A lot of changes there as well, so you need to keep up to date with all that stuff. I always think of standing on a slippery slope, and if you keep on walking you can make progress. If you ever try to stand still for a moment, you slip back and you're further back than what you were before, so keep up those studies. Focusing on the important things, having an holistic and systemic view of the project, taking into account internal and external factors equally, being able to apply critical thinking, e.g. application of analytical methods to reach decisions, and to identify yourself as being an agent of change. Being able to build effective teams, be service oriented and have a fun type of nature and share effectively with team members. But these days especially, you must be very careful that your humour is not inappropriate or offensive. The key is, if you think that one person in 100,000 might possibly be offended by your funny remark, don't say it, because that person will be in the group that you just said it to. And the other thing is, sometimes I've fallen foul of this too. Something can seem very funny at the time, but you're called in front of the program director and someone repeats the words that you say, it may not feel that humorous. You can read the full details of these leadership skills in the PMBOK guide, pages 61 and 62. Okay, number 3, politics, power and getting things done. At times these actually seem to be mutually exclusive. The PMBOK guide says leadership and management are ultimately about being able to get things done. No argument about that. The skills and qualities noted help the project manager to achieve the project goals and objectives. At the root of many of these skills and qualities is the ability to deal with politics. Politics involves influence, negotiation, autonomy and power. Politics and its associated elements are not good or bad, positive or negative alone. The better the project manager understands how the organisation works, the more likely he or she is to be successful. The project manager observes and collects data about the project and organisational landscapes. The data then needs to be perceived in the context of the project, the people involved, the organisation and the environment as a whole. This review yields the information and knowledge necessary for the project manager to plan and implement the most appropriate action. The project manager's action is a result of selecting the right kind of power to influence and negotiate with others. Exercise of power also carries with it the responsibility of being sensitive to and respectful to other people. You can't just trample over people even if you can. The effective action of the project manager determines the autonomy of those involved. The project manager's action results in the right people performing the activities necessary to fulfill the project's objectives. Power can originate with traits exhibited by the individual or the organisation. Power is often supported by other people's perception of the leader. It's essential for project managers to be aware of their relationships with other people. Relationships enable project managers to get things done on the project, as I said earlier. There are numerous forms of power at the disposal of the project manager. Power and its use can be complex given its nature and the various factors to play in the project. You can read the list of power types in the PMBOK Guide, page 62. This list is important for the examination. Number 5, comparison of leadership and management. The PMBOK Guide says the words leadership and management are often used interchangeably, however they're not synonymous. The word management is more closely associated with directing another person to get from one point to another using a known set of expected behaviours. In contrast, leadership involves working with the others through discussion or debate in order to guide them from one point to the other, to get the people to follow you. As one person once said, leadership is a trait where people would follow you even if you've no right to ask them. The method that a project manager chooses to employ reveals a distinct difference in behaviour, self-perception and project role. Table 3.1 compares management and leadership on several important levels. Project managers need to employ both leadership and management in order to be successful. The skill is in finding the right balance for each. Because you want to lead people, you want them to follow because they want to and all that sort of thing. But there are times when they're not going to follow. Something has to be done. It has to be done urgently. And there are times when you have to stand up and say, this must be done. The way in which management and leadership are employed often show up in the project manager's leadership style. Have a look at the leadership styles. The PMBOK Guide says project managers may lead their teams in many ways. The style a project manager selects may be a personal preference or the result of a combination of multiple factors associated with the project. The style a project manager uses may change over time based on the factors at play. Major factors to consider include leader characteristics, for example, attitudes, moods, needs, values and ethics. Team member characteristics, e.g. attitudes, moods, needs, values and ethics. The organisational characteristics, for example, its purpose, structure and type of work performed. And environmental characteristics such as social situation, economic state and political elements. And I'd also throw into that working in other countries, because there are some countries and by nature the people like to be managed rather than led, and you have to know that. You need to research the country you're going to find out what's going to happen. I remember in Manila, for example, I had people who weren't performing well, and it turned out I was giving them too much freedom. They wanted to be managed, not led, and the fact that I wasn't managing them, I wasn't basically stating orders, do this, do this, do that. They felt I was not being appreciative of them. I was disrespecting them because a manager would have instructed them. So just because you feel it's the right thing to do, you need to make sure it's what your team expects of you. Examples of the styles include laissez-faire. Laissez-faire means you let it's sort of hands off. You're letting the team make their own decisions and establish their own goals. Transactional, e.g. that focuses on the goals and the feedback in the accomplishment and the steps to determine rewards, management by exception and so on. There's a servant leader. It demonstrates a commitment to serve and put other people first. We are focusing on the other people growing through the project, learning, developing, getting new skills, being able to work on their own, their well-being. It concentrates on strong relationships and community, collaboration, working together, sort of a flat structure. And leadership is secondary and emerges after services. Transformational, e.g. empowering followers through idealized attributes and behaviours, inspirational motivation, encouragement for innovation and creativity, and individual characteristics. So you're the cheerleader up there, the rah-rah person. You're getting everyone worked up, following a vision and driving towards it. Then there's charismatic. That's the sort who are able to inspire high energy, enthusiastic, self-confident, hold strong convictions, and people feel very confident around you. Whatever you say, they believe that's the right thing. And then there's interactional as well, a combination of transactional, transformational and charismatic. Personality. Personality often refers to the individual differences in characteristic patterns of thinking, feeling and behaving. Personality characteristics or traits include authentic. People accept others for who they are and what they are and show open concern, not suspicious of people. Courteous, e.g. ability to apply appropriate behaviour and etiquette. I always underline appropriate, don't go around hugging your staff. Creative, the ability to think abstractly, to see things differently, to innovate, and also be able to encourage members of your team to innovate. Some project managers feel challenged, shall we say, whenever their team members start coming up with ideas because they've got the strange idea, the project manager has all the best ideas. That's rubbish. Cultural, e.g. measure of sensitivity to other cultures, including values, norms and beliefs, which I mentioned before. It's known about people's religious beliefs, recognizing that they may have certain things to do at certain times. It's understanding whether as a culture they like to be working autonomously, they like to be empowered, or maybe they prefer to be managed step by step. All that sort of thing. Emotional, ability to perceive emotions and information they present and to manage them. So we're talking about emotional intelligence here. A measure of interpersonal skills. It's one thing to see several members of your team looking a bit despondent or angry or sad or whatever. It's another thing to know why they're behaving like that and be able to motivate them or to deal with the problems in the background. There's intellectual, the measure of human intelligence over multiple aptitudes. Managerial, the measure of management practice and potential. Political, the measure of political intelligence and making things happen, but making them happen in a way that's acceptable to the organisation. Service-oriented, e.g. evidence of willingness to serve other people. And you'll often find on a project, if someone's struggling a bit, as project manager, doesn't take that long, you might sit down, discuss something with them to help them through. You might find one of your staff has got some urgent need to leave 2 hours early one day, and so you can organise for somebody to cover for their piece of work, that sort of thing. So that's been service oriented. Social, the ability to understand and manage people, and systemic, the drive to understand and build systems. An effective project manager will have some level of ability with each of these characteristics in order to be successful. Each project, organisation and situation requires that the project manager emphasise specific aspects of personality. And that brings us to the end of leadership versus management, and also to the end of the role of the project manager module overview. The next module is 4.0, Project Integration Management. In my humble opinion, this is where the fun begins. This is the knowledge areas, and this is where you do all the real project management stuff. You will enjoy this. Please read the corresponding chapter in the PMBOK guide before watching the video.